Knitting with essential tremors. I'm working on a keyhole scarf. As you see, it takes me a bit to wrap the yarn around my hand to get the first one in. And yes, I am doing an increase row. Now, I'm going to knit the first stitch. And then I'm going, when I pull this off, there we go. I'm going to wrap the yarn around, and then I'm going to knit the next stitch on the needle. And in case you're wondering, I had a little slip there. Sorry about that. Okay, now let's try this trick again. Here we go. Eureka! It's kind of fun to knit with essential tremors in your hands when your hands are shaking as much as your needles are. I'm using size 3 needles with a little brushed acrylic yarn out of my stash. This is something I've been doing. I learned how to knit when I was 8. Took me 2 years to master it, so I was 10 when I finally got the hang of it. And 12 when I started my essential tremors. Now I'm knitting the entire row because I'm doing it all in garter stitch. So right now I'm just going to show you the first portion of the scarf. I might challenge myself and do one with me casting on needles, and boy is that fun. If you think I'm having fun doing this, wait until you see me cast on stitches. Okay, now this row, when I get done with my last increase, which we're coming to the end now, need a few more stitches. Yeah, I can multitask. Okay, there we go. Almost there. So when I have one left, I'm going to do another yarn over. Sometimes my hands don't want to do what I want them to do, but you know. Okay. Almost there. I'm just glad I'm using the 3s, because if I use anything smaller, I'd be poking my index fingers, and that hurts. And yes, okay, now, got all my increase row done. Now, we're going to do, I hope nobody watching this has vision problems, because when I say my hands shake when I do these things, it's very therapeutic and relaxing for me. So the row I'm doing now is the 20 stitches. And yeah, we're gonna, there we go. Hold still. You know, it may be frustrating to most people, but you know, I have to tell my hands to behave because they are attached to me, so I have to focus on what I'm doing. Now this is the regular row. Any questions? Any questions, feel free to ask me. Now, after this, I'm going to be working the 20 stitches.
No!
To the end of the row. And this is going to be the part where I'm going to be doing, sorry if I say it more than once, but I'm getting the thought mad.
Heather was letting us go through the basement.
Yeah, it almost looks like a lit. No, I have never lost a stitch when I'm doing this well. I just, not this time out. now that I have the width I want, what I was getting at is that I'm going to be transitioning to the next part of what I'm doing of the scarf. Now, if you want the pattern, feel free to like and subscribe and let me know. And I will include the pattern or a link to the pattern that I use. Or there's plenty. I think this one I found through Ravelry.com. So if you're familiar with Ravelry, that's a good place. And here we go again. Okay, now we're getting to the part where I mentioned earlier, if you didn't catch it, like I said, going to knit with 20 stitches. 10 ridges is what you're going to wind up with in the end. So you're going to knit and garter stitch over those 20 stitches for 20 rows. And like I said, it will make 10 ridges because it's easier to count the ridges with garter stitch than it is to count the rows. If I'm going too fast for you, I'm sorry. This is one pattern I just made a white one for a lady not too long ago, and she wanted it narrow, so I decided to make her a 20 stitch width scarf because it's coming towards winter time. So I decided, well, maybe I'll show people how hard it is to knit with essential tremors. But because I've had essential tremors for a while, it's very easy for me to knit. It is very calming and relaxing for me. And away we go.
Okay, nothing happened. But
the color is a teal green, and it's a brush type yarn. I think it's a mohair acrylic blend, so it's not as scratchy as regular mohair. And it comes in a 50-gram skein.
Do these ones for you, so you at least do something, okay? And we'll have Mommy figure out if it was something that Mommy had to do.
I can't tell you the exact brand. I'd have to get the label out. But whatever is in my stash, it surprises me what I get in my stash and how many different types of yarn I've worked with, from acrylic blends to cottons to synthetic fibers. So when you find one project you like that's pretty simple and easy to do, have a little fun with it. I like using fun fur sometimes for these patterns because they're easy to do. But if you want to see how the patterns do, it's easy to start out with the acrylic yarn because it's an easy fiber to catch and you don't got to worry about splitting or snagging, or like with fun fur, if you drop a stitch on that, you know how hard it is to pick it up. This yarn isn't too bad. I haven't really had that many problems with it, but I enjoy working with it. It's a nice soft yarn. And like I said, this is a very therapeutic for me because of my essential tremors. And I do know there's another one on there that a lot of people talk about called the nervous knitter. Well, she can be a nervous knitter all she wants. I've been a nervous knitter since I was 12 years old, so this is nothing new for me. See, most of the time I usually take my time before I start my rows, as you can see, so make sure everything's the way I need it to be. My hand, how I wrap the yarn around the needle, and I'm a little tight in there with the needle, so sometimes you can't always tell or see the stitches I'm doing. And I'm thinking of having my daughter help me do an angle to where you can see it better of what I'm doing. And like I say, yeah, I've been going really fast with this. I have my own Facebook page. I have my own Facebook shop. I've been doing it since online. My business I've been running for since 2011 online. But I've been in the craft business on and off ever since I got excited about learning how to crochet and knit. And both my grandmas were my teachers. Not many grandmas do that anymore, although I've been working with my granddaughter a little bit, a stitch here and a stitch there. But this is something I enjoy doing. I have a lot of projects in the work, but this is one that's kind of, it's a small project. And if you like a travel project, this is a perfect one to do. They're fun to make. And they're portable. And I finally got me a bag to where I can carry everything with me, including my take-along projects. So everywhere I go, when I'm babysitting or what have you, this goes with me. And I think we're getting towards, we're getting some length on there. I don't know if you can see it as I turn it. I'm just trying to make sure that I can slide the stitches easy. And if it doesn't go through the way I want it. Now I know everybody has a way of knitting. In my case, a friend asked me if I'm a tight knitter. Well, I look and I see and I realize the way I feel that I'm a tight knitter is that I hold my work really close together so it doesn't slide off the needles. But my stitches are not tight. That I do know. I haven't had tight stitches since I tried to knit in the beginning when I was about 8 years old. So when I started at 8, it took me a while to master knitting, and it was very challenging with me. So I picked up crochet quicker than knitting. But once I got knitting down, it took me 2 years to master knitting. In this day and age, most people can master it in less time than I did. But I was a kid then. I was into a lot of things at that age. But once I mastered knitting, everything fell into place, and I actually enjoyed a lot of the stuff I made. I've made everything from hats to sweaters to scarves, socks, blankets, everything and anything. So since we have this everything going online and everybody wants to teach the next person how to do what, I would just want to see how many people would like to enjoy watching a person with essential tremors knit the most beautiful work you can even imagine. I just finished a project for my friend, a couple hats she ordered.
Oh no.
And she rather got excited watching the progress of it. So I figured, you know what? She's right. I should keep doing this. Because it encourages her and a lot of the people I know who they're amazed at the different, many complicated projects I do. Now, right now, this is just the easy part of the scarf I'm working on. So if you want to see the complicated part, I'll work on that for you. In the meantime,
Don't worry, guys.
we're gonna see about finishing up this row so that we can move on to the next step.
I will ask my mom if I can go.
Now, if you really enjoy this,
Okay.
I'm gonna do one in fun fur. I'm gonna finish this one here first that you're watching me get started on.
Yeah.